Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, November 5, 2022, and giving you our match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Illinois fighting Illini versus Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State comes into this game in shambles following the aftermath of the Michigan game. With 8 defenders suspended on an already weak defensive unit, this could turn very ugly for the Spartans. If all things were not a mess, this would still be a terrible matchup for Michigan State. Look no further than the matchup in the backfield. The Fighting Illini have the 21st best ground attack in college football, and they are squaring up against the 118th ranked run defense. This is a colossal mismatch. Defensively, the Illini are dominant and are particularly tough on the pass. They will create turnovers and they will control the ball. The Spartans come into this matchup 0-3 ATS on the road. This will be an easy 3-score win against a team that is reeling from last week's mess. Take Illinois and lay the points, -16.5. 2 weeks ago, the Michigan State Spartans halted a 4-game losing streak in a thrilling overtime victory over Wisconsin. At 3-4, the Spartans had some momentum as they prepared to play their in-state rivals, the Michigan Wolverines, on Saturday night. Unfortunately, the momentum was short-lived and the Spartans fell 29-7 to the number 4 Wolverines. The game was marred further when several Michigan State players were caught on camera pummeling a Michigan player in the tunnel following the game. The ugly incident was another black mark on what has been a disappointing season for the Spartans after last year's 11-2 season that resulted in Tucker signing a lucrative long-term deal to coach the Spartans. Michigan State quarterback Peyton Thorne went 17 of 30 for 215 yards and a touchdown on Saturday and found wide receiver Keon Coleman for 5 catches for a career-high 155 yards and a score. They had just 11 first downs against the Wolverines and rushed for just 37 yards on 23 attempts. A far cry from last year's run-heavy offense. The Fighting Illini are back in business in the highly competitive Big Ten. After years of mediocre play and several head coaches, Illinois seems to have found the right formula with head coach Brett Bielema, formerly of Arkansas. On Saturday, the Illini made it 6 straight wins with a 26-9 win over Nebraska on the road. This game was made for the under. Michigan State will struggle to score against an Illinois defense that is only giving up 9 points per game. Illinois' offense will look to start fast with their rushing attack and then take the wind out of Michigan State and provide them with zero momentum. This game will be low-scoring, dominated by Illinois. The under is 5-1 in Spartans' last 6 games on field turf. The under is 3-0-1 in Fighting Illini's last 4 home games. Take the under 41.5 points. Pittsburgh Panthers versus Syracuse Orange. The Syracuse Orange have a stellar defense and overall are having a remarkable season. They were 6-0 at one point. The 2 defeats were against strong foes, losing by only 6 points to Clemson, followed by a loss to a hot Notre Dame squad. Pittsburgh is stumbling, dropping 3 out of their last 4 games. Furthermore, the Orange defense will propel them in this bout. Pittsburgh QB Keaton Slovis is having trouble generating yards and only converted on 45% of his passes last week. He has only averaged 188 passing yards in his last 3 games, with 0 touchdown passes in that span. Slovis will struggle again considering the stifling Panthers pass defense that ranks 4th in the entire FBS. Pittsburgh has only covered twice all season and has only scored a total of 34 points in their last 2 games. Take the Syracuse Orange plus 3 points. The Syracuse Orange are attempting to avoid a 3rd straight defeat. Syracuse was greatly exceeding expectations in a remarkable string of games, going a perfect 6-0, but has since lost 2 straight bouts. First, they lost 27-21 at Clemson and were 1.5-point dogs in a rough 41-24 home loss against Notre Dame last week to fall to 3-1 in ACC play. Their best win occurred in a 24-9 triumph against North Carolina State, who was ranked 15th at the time. The Orange have covered the spread in 3 out of their last 4 games. Garrett Schrader sustained an injury in Saturday's loss. He is cleared to play but might not start. The junior QB is having an outstanding season, amassing 1,636 passing yards, along with a 14.5 TD to int ratio. Freshman Carlos Del Rio Wilson took over last week and has posted 222 passing yards in limited action, and coach Dino Babers could start him instead of Schrader. The Orange will run frequently. Sean Tucker has logged several outstanding performances this season and has eclipsed 100 yards 3 times. The sophomore RB has filed 758 rushing yards on 5.2 yards per carry. The passing game relies on Oren Gadsden. The sophomore WR has collected at least 78 yards in 3 consecutive games and leads the squad with 671 receiving yards. The Syracuse offense has posted 24 or fewer points in 3 straight bouts. The Pittsburgh Panthers are in need of a win. They have dropped 3 out of their last 4 clashes and need 2 wins in their last 4 games to secure bowl eligibility. Pittsburgh lost 24-10 against Louisville on the 22nd and was labeled 3-point dogs in a 42-24 road loss to the Tar Heels last week to plummet to 1-3 in conference play. The Panthers have covered the spread in just 1 conference game this season. Keaton Slavis continues to struggle. The senior QB only connected on 45% of his pass attempts last week and has not recorded a touchdown pass in 3 straight games. Slavis has accrued 1,561 passing yards, accompanied by a 5.5 TD to int ratio on the season. Israel Abanikanda is difficult to contain. The junior RB has rushed for at least 129 yards in 3 consecutive games. He had a whopping 6 rushing TDs in a recent win against Virginia Tech and has accumulated 1,086 rushing yards and a remarkable 5.9 yards per carry. Jared Wayne registered a season-best 161 receiving yards last week. The senior WR now has 572 receiving yards. The Pittsburgh offense has scored 24 or fewer points in 3 out of their last 4 games due to the struggles of QB Keaton Slavis. This game will feature a great RB battle between Syracuse's Sean Tucker, 24th in rushing yards with 758, and Pitt's Israel Abanikanda. Abanikanda is averaging 5.9 yards per carry and has racked up 120-plus yards in the last 3 games. I expect each team to try and control the ball and dance with who brought them the RB. Pitt will look to attack on the ground after the last 2 showings the Syracuse defense has shown. Syracuse's game script will be centered around keeping Schrader from getting knocked out again or by keeping it simple with Del Rio Wilson under center. Remember, despite their recent woes, this Panthers defense is among the most physical in the ACC. Take under. Be prepared to watch these opposing RBs get plenty of totes. Take the under 48.